Hello, hello, hello. Thanks for being here today with me on Direct Mail Monday, December 18th, 2017. Steve Sipress here, and hopefully you've already sent out all your Christmas cards. That's people getting bombarded with those these times of year. We certainly are one of those people, one of those homes that's gotten bombarded with the Christmas cards, my beautiful wife, Michelle, and I. So I went to the mailbox today. I had a couple of things in mind I was thinking of sharing, but I went to the mailbox and I said, let's see how many cards are in there or whatever. No Christmas cards, so maybe everybody sent them early this year. Very good. And only one piece of mail stuck in there, big envelope, and not even addressed to us. So I'll be sharing that a little bit later. But first, I have the Rhino of the day. And I'll be doing this is unopened, just arrived, not even addressed to us, addressed to some former resident here. I'm guessing not a future resident, but certainly not the current residents. And I'll be doing a critique on that. But first, the Rhino of the day is this brochure. Has a bunch of rhinos in it. Hey, thanks for the likes. Who is here? Didn't see. We have Rhino Gutter Guard, rhinogutterguard.com. And so we got a bunch of rhinos on here. And this is a brochure that I think I got at a trade show. They had a booth at a trade show. I do a bunch of trade shows for myself and businesses and my clients and their businesses. And so I'm always going around, of course, to all the other booths and looking around and studying and learning the good, the bad, and seeing what's going on. So even though I wasn't in the market for a gutter, hey, Bob Donovan is here. Good to see you, Bob. Few rhinos. There's a cool one. They're like, that's not their logo, but some kind of patriotic rhino with an American flag manufactured in the USA. And on the inside there looks like that's kind of their logo there, that rhino. And then got another one down there. So it looks like a big, strong, tough rhino. Not the entrepreneur rhino, but the big, strong, tough rhino signifying the gutter guard. If I want to do a critique, if it was brochure Monday, I would do a critique. Can you see one thing, glaring thing that could improve this brochure right off the bat? If you are follow me, or you're a client or a student of mine even, you ought to know right off the bat that this is a me cover of the brochure. It's all about the company. It's the company, and they've been in business, so they have a guarantee, and whatever that thing is. Oh, they have U.S. patent on something. They have guarantee about something, and they're strong and they're dependable. Some adjectives about them, their website, it's all about them. What's in it for me? Why would I even open this thing up? Just because this is on some nice card stock, just because you print full color card stock, trifold brochures and have it all look nice and invest all that money into it, put in 5-10 grand or whatever, does not entitle you to have the thing read. So often I work with people on their brochures or their ads or direct mail or anything, and they're like, oh, got no results. I tried it, got no results before they start working with me. I'm like, well, but you didn't do it right. You didn't do it my way, so you didn't use the wow strategy. So, you rolled the dice and you came up empty. But without even looking at it, I mean, how about this? There's the headline. End gutter cleaning forever. So why would that be only on the inside? Again, feeling entitled and assuming the fact that I'll open it and see your main selling point, your main statement, that I will never have to clean a gutter again forever. They'll never, I'm guessing you're going to tell me they'll never clog, they'll never need cleaning, they'll never have whatever problems there are. Yeah, it's got a 100% no clog guarantee, speaking of clogs. So why not put that here? 100% no clog guarantee. End gutter cleaning forever. Nobody cares about this stuff until first I got a reason to actually open this and look at it. So this is known in journalism as burying the lead. Yeah, that was my first career, was journalism. I ran newspapers back in grade school, high school, college. I was radio and TV broadcaster, and it's known as burying the lead, when you have the main point of your article somewhere in paragraph 18 or on the, in this case, down inside, could even be seen as paragraph 2 or 3, but no one's going to get to it unless you have a glaring great headline, which this brochure lacks. However, that's the rhino of the day, not doing the critique on the brochure. I guess there was a bonus critique. Let's dive right in, and we'll see how long or short this is. I can tell you right away from a few things looking at the, good seeing you, Bob. Right away, a few things from the envelope. Number one, I like the fact that we have a full color envelope. It's coming from the Animal Rescue, what is that? The Animal, it's over here. The Arizona Animal Welfare League. It's got a live stamp, so I like that. USA, so that's going to be that's patriotic. It's going to please a certain percentage of the marketplace, and it's going to, I guess, cause a certain percentage of the marketplace to run to a safe space and kneel and bow and be ashamed and disgraced and whatever. However, here in Arizona, you can pretty much, if you're mailing by zip codes, pretty much all the people that are outside of the city tend to be more conservative. It's like that in all of America, and people inside the cities tend to be more handout, help me, please, government, take care of me oriented. That's city folk. So, city folk are not just all about take care of me. They're all about, hey, we should take care of each other. They're very interdependent. I've spoken about this before. Like the rich people in the city still believe we should take care of everybody. We all depend on each other for public transportation and public this and public that, and everything is all about the public. You get out like we are in the middle of nowhere in the boonies, and it's very much independence, self-reliance, not this taking and not this giving and not this interdependent. We give a lot, for sure, but we give on our terms. We give from our choice. We don't give by government force coming, taking our money, and bureaucrats or politicians deciding what's best for our money to do with it. So this USA stamp, good to go to a rural or a suburban area, and wouldn't be as great to be received inside cities where people are anti-American and ashamed and kneel at the flag and all that crap. Could you imagine if I opened the mailbox, started kneeling just because this triggered my snowflake needing a puppy to cry on? Anyway. So it's a holiday theme. I like that. They've got celebrate the joy and be giving. So, and there's a gift, and it's in red. So again, a red or green gift and red fingernails. It's just gonna. And here you got the green. So you got the green and the red. It's going to trigger inside the city. It's going to trigger all kinds of how dare you invoke Christmas. What about all Kwanzaa? What about atheists? What about Happy Hanukkah? How come isn't it blue and white? All right, enough already. So I like the look and feel of the envelope. One thing I can tell you right away is you want to segment the list. So if you're in this business or any kind of pet business, you would know, but I think pretty much everybody would know that, because here we have a picture of 2 dogs, 2 cats. But dog people, cat people, extremely different. And they have pets for extremely different reasons. And they think about them extremely differently. The pets act completely differently. If you've ever had dogs and cats, or you know someone who had, that the animals act completely differently, and the people are completely different. So I would do what's called segment the list. I get a list of cat owners, and I would put only cats up here. I would get a list of dog owners, put only dogs up here. I would get a list of horse owners and put only horses up here, or bunnies, or whatever pets it is, goldfish, whatever pets it is that people have. Otherwise, you can do this general, hopefully, it reaches everybody, but it's milquetoast to everybody. I just look at it and go, yeah, whatever, dogs, cats, yeah, sure. But we're dog people here. We love our doggy, Emmanuel. He still writes a column in our monthly magazine. He left a whole stack of columns for us. So his monthly columns we're still publishing it every month. And we're dog people. So the cats, I'm like, cats. It evokes a feeling of like, cats, not into it. So why would you want to do that? Why would you want to alienate 50% of your audience with the cat pictures and the other 50% with the dog pictures, or 60-40, whatever the percentage is? Don't do that. You'd want to segment the list if you could. If it's your own house list, you certainly ought to know who's a dog person, who's a cat person, who's a horse person, who's a fish person, snakes, you know, whatever people have as pets, you ought to know. But even if you're renting the list, something you want to ask, you might have to pay a couple of pennies more per name, but that's an important thing. So let's dive into now that, you know, the first job of your direct mail piece, as I just said with the brochures, to get the darn thing open. You got to get it open. So they got full color, they got a live stamp, they're a little tear jerking, you know, with the sad pictures of animals up here. If you could see, their eyes are all sad and all. Okay, I'll celebrate the joy. You know, they don't seem to be much joy here. So, you know, let's see if I can give something this holiday season to help these dogs and cats and whatever's going on. So I'll open it, and right away, ooh, look at that. We've got a full color. This is the first thing I saw, which is a little strange because I saw 4-leaf clovers, or clovers, 6-leaf, whatever they are. So green clovers. So that was the first thing. So it's another thing when you're packing your direct mail, or you're giving directions to your fulfillment house. Pay attention to everything, folks. You might as well tell them which way to pack the mail. And I would not have packed it with this in the front. So that's the first thing they see. Might have packed it with that in the front. However, some people will open the envelope in the back. See, this was very stuck, so I ended up just ripping it on the side. But if it was easy to open, then I would open it that way, and then this would have been the first thing I see. So you really can't control it. Either way, I would suggest that if you're doing a mailing around Christmas time, that you don't have lots of St. Patrick's Day or any other holiday type of theme stuff on it. I mean, pretty simple. You could have had just the contact information on the back, or the contact information and some kind of snowflakes or Christmas theme or so. Come on now, what's with the clovers? But anyway, so we got the 4-color, some kind of brochure, and we got a letter. Now, which one do you think people, when they receive these, which one would you look at first? I can tell you right now, the way this is formatted, it ain't this. Okay, this is a really poorly formatted letter. This is very small margins, very long paragraphs, and boring, just one font. There's no headline here. There's no sub-headlines. Like I would, and oh, terrible, the back is unused, because that's what I was just going to say. I would make this 2 sides or 2 pages. There you go. I could take this much copy, but put in some copy cosmetics, some formatting to format it so it's more inviting. Put a headline, sub-headline, some call-outs, you know, some underlines or stars or circling things, or you know, have it printed on there saying like wow with an arrow, you know, something that would make me, if it wasn't so intimidating here that this is going to be a tough read, you might have got me to read the first sentence, especially if you put a headline on it and celebrate the joy, not a headline. If you put a headline on it with a big benefit to me, you would have grabbed me for the headline. Then you could have had the first line, start telling a story, and grab me for another line, and grab me for another, and another, and another, and we call it the slippery slope in the world of copywriting. I'm not doing a copywriting critique here, but you want to pull them down the slippery slope so they start reading and they just can't stop reading. With this one, I stop reading and I just can't start. So we put that aside for now, and if this interests me enough, yeah, I guess I'll pick up the letter and read a little bit. Hey, Mike is here. Good seeing you. Thanks for the likes. And so, it's their annual journal of last year. Now, by the way, again, I reiterate, this was mailed not to me, to a previous resident. So this could be someone who says adopt on there, and again, has the dog and the cat. I think it's a cat, which I think is a mistake, again, that they ought to have 2 separate ones, because dog people, cat people are totally different. Dogs and cats, totally different. Unless it's raining. Then it's raining cats and dogs. For some reason, they're together when it's raining. But I digress. More clovers on the cover. Again, I guess it's a general, you know, green growth, happy theme or something, but like not a great idea around Christmas time, I think, to evoke a St. Patrick's Day type of theme with these green flowers. And so maybe this person had adopted a pet, or maybe had donated money to the Arizona Animal Welfare League and SPCA, Arizona's oldest and largest no-kill shelter. Okay, we like that. So they might be interested in the journal of the year. But some of your mail is going to go, this person wasn't even the last previous person. I know who the last previous person is because they left some crap here. And there are a couple of deliveries arrived after we had moved in. So I end up tracking the guy down and calling him up. And he's like, who are you? Whatever. I'm like, well, dude, there's like a bicycle got delivered here. You might want to like contact the shipper and UPS. Oh, now he's Mr. Nice Guy. But anyway, so who knows how long ago this person lived here. And so the older your list, like in this case, the more likely somebody new was living there. And so this might attract someone who definitely has adopted or given money just to get the annual journal. But otherwise, why don't you put a headline on it? And then maybe put down at the bottom, this is the Arizona Animal Welfare League annual 2017 annual journal. We'll put up the top. Look at all the lives we saved this year. Look at all the families who we made happy this year. Look at all the happiness we spread this year. Something like that. Something to get me interested to, hey, look at all the happiness we spread. And then maybe I'd open it up and we'll talk all about the happiness they spread. Here's the dog. Now they're going to do a great job, and they do. Great job. Here's the story about this cat, story about this dog. Again, simplest thing to do, folks, is split this into 2 mailings and mail the dog one with only dog stories and only dog photos and only dogs on the envelope to dog people, and only the cat ones to cat people. That one tidbit of advice alone, if this was a client of mine, I would likely much more than double their response with that one tiny little fix. And so this is all kinds of who they are, what's going on, and very smart. They have the not a stamp. I was going to say self-addressed stamped envelope. Big mistake here. They're scrunching they're scrimping on not having a postage paid envelope. It's 50 cents, or you put postage paid. Now, if you don't know that when you get you get registered for a posted page, you get a stamp that is not charged unless that piece is mailed. So you could put a 50-cent stamp on every one of these. That's big and bold to put that much extra money into each one, but it does send the message, hey, look, we put a live stamp on this thing. We're investing 50 cents. When you put the postage will be paid by, you're only going to pay that if they mail it. But either way, why are you making me put a stamp on it? So there's a mistake there. But the good news is you do have the return envelope, and I'm sure in here, I hope, in here they're going to ask for a donation and explain why they have that envelope. It's not jumping out at me. So again, the lead is being buried. And another very poorly formatted, boring, long, tough read of a letter here. But at least look at that. They put a headline. So whoever did this understood that you should have a headline on top of everything, right? Every email, every phone call, every business card, every brochure, I don't care what it is. You should have a headline if you want to grab someone's attention and get them interested to read it. Those are the 2 jobs of the headline. So whether luck or fate, it is magical. It's a crappy headline, but at least it's a headline. And then they could have, made this a little easier to read. So either in here or in this letter, I'm going to assume there is a reason why we have that envelope. Here we go. Way down, as if I was going to actually read it. You see that I skimmed just because I'm looking for any dollar amount, and I found it. It says, for this reason, we're asking you to share as much as you possibly can by donating. 50 grand? Oh, we will double a matching gift pledge up to 50 grand. I was like, they're asking for 50 grand? If you're asking for 50 grand, this ain't going to do it. Then you absolutely need to segment the list and send all the doggy stories only to dog owners and so forth, which, by the way, kind of rams home my point. Like, if you want to get big money, if you wanted to get $1,000 donation from somebody, you ought to segment the dogs and cats. Again, dog people are going to say, oh, look at the doggy. Yeah, maybe I should give. Oh, that cat, cats, they bother me. They this, that, but, you're messing yourself up. So if you want to get 5 or 10 grand, you want to segment the list and do a much better job on it. So why don't you have that in your mind and say, man, even if I'm only asking for each 25 donation becomes 50, 50 becomes 100. Even if I'm only basically asking for $25, let me put this together as if I'm asking for 10,000. Makes sense? You want to do that in all your marketing, no matter what you're selling, even if it's a low price, even if you're offering it for free. I talk about this all the time. You want to sell it as if you're selling it for full price. Then when you say, oh, yeah, but it's only this little, much easier to make that sale. So I guess that's why they have the envelope. And then another mistake, I mean, I see on one hand, you know, it's smart. You have a picture of the person writing the letter who is the president and CEO of this Arizona Animal Welfare League. And if you can see, she's got a photo of her holding a cute little kitty, which again is fantastic. The cat owners are going to love that, but dog owners are going to go, I wonder if he's going to scratch her. And ooh, and you know, I bet that cat can't stand being held. Cats don't want to be held. They want to be. Now cat people are going to tell me, oh no, they do, and they purr, and they want come up to you. Yeah, sure. Anyway, so that's it for the critique. I'll leave it at that. I mean, I could get into all the details here and give a copy critique on top of it, but you know, this has an interesting feel as if it was drawn by a kid. So it's inviting. It's not threatening. It's cute. You know. But it's got some issues with it, some good, some bad, and I can't tell you how effective it is coming to a total stranger, but going to someone who, we got our dog Emmanuel, we rescued him from the shelter named after the greatest movie of all time, Animal House. So of course, seeing the name, that was actually the name of the shelter, we had to go. I knew that fate said that our doggy would be there in Animal House, a movie I've seen over 100 times, and the greatest movie of all time. So if this had come, and every year they did send us something, and if it had come from the Animal House, and we had gotten our dog and given them a donation and all that, maybe I'd be, this would be good. I think actually, yeah, I'm going to say overall it's good. This, compared to the stuff we would get a little black and white thing. You know, this is full color. It's on heavy card stock. It's got that personal photo of the CEO. I love that. Not thrilled that she's got a kitty in there to alienate old dog owners, or not, maybe not alienate, but certainly doesn't attract all the dog owners. And it does have a big chance of alienating some dog owners. But all in all, pretty well done piece. So the question is, what are you doing in your business? Are you using direct mail? Even if it's just full of mistakes and there's all kinds of room for improvement. Number one, if you somehow convinced me that you could become a client of mine, you wouldn't be making all these mistakes and you make a ton more money with it. But even if not, I'll bet they make money from this. I'll bet that $2-3 a piece that they invested in mailing these out, if they mailed 10,000 of them, it's 50 grand, and they got back what they say, their matching amount. They were matching up to 50 grand. So I'm guessing that's their goal. So if they would have mailed out, say, 2,000 pieces at $3 a piece, they invest 6 grand. So let's say they mailed out 10,000 pieces at $3 a piece. They invest 30 grand. Their goal is 50. And this year they've spent well over $850,000 on medical services. So 4,300 animals we've taken in this year. I'm guessing they're going to get a lot more than just 50 grand. In fact, it says here, we'll match the first 50,000 donations. Yeah, I'm guessing they're going to get a lot more than 50 grand coming in. So I predict that if I'm at this address next year and they mail it to this same person that's not at this address, but it comes here again, I bet I'll get one again next year. And why would they do it year after year? Because it works. So that's the question of the day, folks. Are you just watching these videos, or are you using direct mail? Even using it not really that well and clumsily, you can make money with it. Use it really well, get someone who knows what they do to help you with it. Woo! Boy, it is still the biggest money maker there is, direct mail. That's why I have a whole day devoted to it. You don't see that I have like email Tuesday or anything, or text message Thursday, like direct mail. It's the biggest money maker there is. So that's it for today. Thanks for being here today. Rich is here. Charles, Ron, great to see you. Long time. Hope everything is fantastic. Don't be a stranger. Send me a private message or something. Keep in touch. So great to see. And Jerdog is here. Great to see former clients, members, customers, and especially around this holiday time where we are thinking all about happy thoughts and joy. Hopefully you're at least, if not totally done, you're finishing up on all your holiday prep and gifts and and all that. We got a full week this year because the holiday comes on a Monday, meaning the whole weekend's kind of like Christmas weekend. How cool is that? So that's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow with Topical Tuesday. As usual, there's an overload of stuff going on in the news, and I got something I'm going to share with you, a business building tip based on something in the news, and we'll do that tomorrow on Topical Tuesday. So I don't see any questions, comments, concerns. Thanks, everyone, for being here today, and I will catch you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.